Hello. I'm back, and I'm going back to the rest of that Indiepocalypse bundle I haven't finished yet. I think we had a couple more games left, and I wanted to finish the one we were on. What was it? I think it was Girlfriend Simulator. Trying to get the good ending on that. We're gonna go back to that, and then there were two other games. So that's what we're doing. We get set up. Alrighty. It's a bit quiet, shouldn't matter too much, but there we go. Oh, you can't hear it at all. That's okay. We're gonna get right into it. Where was it? Am I blind? Did currents. We saw this, we did this. That's the one we couldn't do. Fighter, here we go. Make sure you can hear that. Good, good. Okay. Alright, last time I think we literally just fell asleep and like nothing happened. The pain when it hits me is intense. Comes so suddenly I feel like I'm going to be sick. Hurts more than I thought it would. Hurts more than I can endure. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, but then a miracle happens. My vision turns white. Lungs spasm in one last desperate gasp. Then there's nothing. I'm finally free. Thought it would be scary, which is why I trembled so much, but I think I'm getting used to it now. It's not that bad, really, not existing. Worse things you can do than disappear. Moo? Hey, Ayamu, can you hear me? Please tell me you can hear me. Wake up, you have to wake up. Don't do this to me. Ayamu? Sounds like someone's calling out to me. Hear a voice high and anxious cleaving through my comfortable, cozy state of non-existence. My head is starting to hurt again. What's going on? Alright, I might not go through all of the dialogue, because we've read most of this, only where we're gonna do different decisions. Last time we just went along completely with their plans. I think this time we're just gonna see... I'm gonna play it by ear. But I'm gonna... Basically, we wake up and she's taking care of us and she's a little suspicious. Alright. Open my eyes. Somebody's standing beside me. Yep. Yep. Description. Too pretty, she's in my apartment. Thank goodness you're awake. You're up for hours. Don't know if we're friends. Turn it up a smidge. You must be sick. I'm sick. Yep, I'm very sick. You're in the hospital. Holding up fingers, my vision's fine. Favorite food, favorite book. Oh yeah, the Elf Force thing. She was like a fan of the fan fiction I was doing or something. Oh, now it's getting too loud. Yes. Birthday. Don't know her birthday, yep. She was like a fan on this, like... I don't think it was quite a fanfiction so much as it was, like, based off another novel I had read or something. Yep, she says she's my girlfriend. Nagi. I think last time we reassured, we're gonna just tell her we don't remember. I'm sorry, but even if you are my girlfriend, I don't remember you at all. Are we really a couple? Well, of course we are. Nagi glowers at me. It's quite a nerving expression, actually, which makes me tremble. Why does she look so angry? I understand being upset, but... I wouldn't lie about this, Aimu. Do you think I'm a liar? No, I guess not, but... Well, good. Don't ask me silly questions, then. It's quite hurtful, really, being told by your own boyfriend that he doesn't remember you. If you weren't as sick as you are, I would be upset. But it's to be expected, I guess, that you'd be a little confused, given you have such a high fever. I guess I can let you off the hook. For now, at least. Would you like me to fetch you any ibuprofen? We can take ibuprofen together. What about some water? Oh no, don't go out of your way. I'm sure I'll live. You'd better. If you don't, then I would... Well, let's not worry about that right now. I think you need to sleep now more than anything. Do you want me to get... You want to get more shut-eye? Do you mind? It seemed a bit rude inviting you over then spending the whole time asleep. Oh, think nothing of it. I came here to help you, after all. If sleeping would help you, which I think it will, then that's what you should do. Don't worry about me. You should be thinking about yourself right now, silly. Just relax, you hear? Your super cute girlfriend is going to do our darndest to help you recover. I'm not going to leave until we've got that fever of yours under control and that frown turns upside down. Right. The voice is high-pitched and it hits me like a freight train. It's relentless. I'm not sure if listening to her spiel is making me feel much better. My head is still aching, though I suppose I appreciate how determined she is to cheer me up. I still can't quite recall having a girlfriend, especially not one this devoted, but... Well, whatever. I'm sick. I must be confused, like Nagi said. I shouldn't pay it too much heed. I yawn. Tears begin to bead in the corners of my eyes. Obediently, my eyelids begin to fall shut. I feel so tired. Yes, that's right. Get some more sleep, Aimu. Sleep as much as you'd like. Oh, I should have made a save at the first decision. That was a mistake. I'm not going to leave you. I'll always be here to take care of you. I promise. Not sure how long I sleep for, but when I wake up I feel distinctly groggy. I blink, attempting to disperse the white spots that are scattered in front of my vision. The back of my head is still pounding. I still feel out of it, regardless of how much I've slept, which might be why the sight of the girl sitting at my bedside shocks me so much. It takes me a few moments before I realize that I've seen her before. She was sitting next to me the last time I woke up. She said her name was... Nagi? That's right. It's good to see that you're awake, Aimu. You were out of it for ages. You really must be tired. Well, that answers one question I had. Wondering how long I'd been asleep. I'm pretty tired, yeah. Look at my bedside table, searching for my digital alarm clock, but I can't find it. Now that's funny. I was sure I had a clock there, though. I don't recall using it very much. Not in the last few months, at least. I didn't have any need for it. Did I throw it out? I don't remember doing that, though. I don't remember much of anything. Oh? Like you must have noticed my expression twisting because she frowns. Is something bothering you? You're not in any pain, are you? Oh no, I'm fine. I just wanted to know what time it was, if you knew. The time? I think it's about midday. I woke up at 9, but you've been sleeping the last 3 hours. 3 hours? That's quite a lot. Yeah, you were asleep for a while. Like I said, you poor thing. You've been laid very low indeed, but don't worry. I've not been hanging around doing nothing these last 3 hours. I actually made some rice porridge for you, to shore up your strength. You did? I don't see any rice porridge. I did, yeah. It's still in the kitchen. Let me warm it up for you. Nagi rises to her feet, the hem of her skirt fluttering, then sets off. You hear the sound of distant clattering in the kitchen. More pots and pans, and then shuffle of returning footsteps. Footsteps. Nagi's wearing indoor slippers, so her feet don't make very much noise. Her footsteps are cushioned. Guess she doesn't want to get my floor dirty. Not that it matters. I feel like the volume of this game is all over the place. It was so quiet before, now it's... Then it was loud, now it is quiet again. I'm just gonna leave it here. Not that it matters. My floor is filthy just like the rest of my room. Should be at least, but my surroundings look tidier than I remember. My alarm clock isn't the only thing I see that's gone missing while I've been asleep. Ta-da! Nurse Nagi is back on the scene. Nagi appears before me less than 5 minutes after her departure. She's smiling brightly and she's holding a tray. This is for you, Ayamu. Eat up. On the tray, which Nagi is now thrusting at me, there's a bowl of warmed-up rice porridge, from which steam is gently exuding, and a cup of herbal tea. The rice porridge is a milky white, and the tea is a translucent copper color. They both look nourishing, and they smell pretty good, too. Can't see anything wrong with this food, not at a glance, at least, but... Is it... Okay, I think we ate it last time. I think we're gonna eat it again, or else she's gonna get pissed at us. I think we're just gonna eat it. It's just rice porridge. What could go wrong? Surely it's not drugged. I'm sure it's fine. This rice porridge tastes as good as it looks. It should be delicious. We need our strength for figuring out whatever the hell is going on here. Thank you, Nagi. Smile at my girlfriend, then pick up my spoon. Looks great. Can't wait to dig in. It's no problem. And you don't need to thank me. I am your girlfriend, after all. Should be a given that I'd look after you. I suppose it would, yeah. I dip my spoon into my porridge under Nagi's watchful gaze, then bring it to my lips. I blow on it. Then I put the spoon in my mouth. So what do you think? Is it good? I let the porridge linger on my tongue for a few moments before swallowing. Just so I can taste the poison. It slides down my throat easily as I expect it would. It is rice porridge after all. It's quite watery at that. Nagi must have made it like this on purpose so it would be easier for me to eat. That was very considerate of her. Not sure if I can handle any food that's too solid at the moment, given how unwell I feel. If I had to describe it in one word, I'd say it's pretty homey. Reminds me of a little of my mother's cooking, actually. Mother used to make me rice porridge just like this when I was young, and I was too sick to go to school. This is all rather nostalgic. It's good, yeah. Thanks, Angi. I'm glad to hear it. I know my cooking isn't the best, but I've been trying. I want to get better, all for your sake. Now why don't you finish it up? You've got to get a little more food in you. Aye, aye, Captain. I'll do my best. I'd prefer nurse over captain. The latter sounds a little too nautical. But whatever floats your boat. Finish the rest of the porridge, then wash it down with a cup of herbal tea. Tea wasn't as hot as I was fearing, and it doesn't scald my tongue. It's quite soothing, in fact. I wonder what exactly is in that tea. Where did Nagi get it? I don't recall buying any loose leaves. I'm not a big tea drinker. Maybe she brought it over from her house? There we go. Wasn't so hard, was it? I'm very proud of you, Ayamu. Nagi smiles at me angelically after I've finished eating, as though I've succeeded in accomplishing a truly difficult task. You'd be tempted to think, based on the way she's carrying on, I've just run a marathon, which, given how I feel right now, would be an impossibility. That porridge might have bolstered my strength, but there's no way in hell I'm ready to throw back my covers and start working out. Well, it was easy to eat your food. You're really good at cooking. Well, I don't know about that. There are better cooks out there than me, really. All I can really do is follow recipes. I'm not particularly gifted in the kitchen, but I have been working hard to make food that's worthy of you. Worthy of me, you say? Yeah, you're a great guy, so it's a pretty tall order, but I'm not going to give in. It's not quite there. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm sure I'll improve. Yep. Nagi flashes me a peace sign, then takes my tray from the bed. I think she means to take it to the kitchen, but instead she sets it on my bedside table, then says, "This is the least I can do for you, really, given that how hard you work. You need to eat a lot of healthy, nourishing food. You need to get a lot of rest. You hear me, mister? Otherwise you won't be able to finish the latest chapter of Crimson Fantasia by next Friday." Yeah, that was the book. Why does that name sound so familiar? I'm sure I've heard it before. It's hard to place. Brain feels fuzzy. I'd have thought Nagi's rice porridge would give me strength, but it's not having much of an effect. I still feel wretched. Yes, Crimson Fantasia. Fortunately, Nagi is with me, and she seems to know even more about me than I do, at the moment at least. I want to see what's going to happen, and I'm sure all of your other fans do too. The last chapter ended on such a cliffhanger. You absolutely have to know what's going to happen between Eris. You can't kill her off. Not now that she's finally reunited with her sister. She's barely had a chance to talk to Harmonia yet. There's still so much left unspoken between the two of them. And Eris's fight scenes are the coolest in the whole story. I'd be really upset if she doesn't emerge from her scrape with the Arcanists alive. Oh, right. He's just throwing a bunch of impenetrable sounding character names at me, but I think I'm beginning to see, at long last, what she means. Crimson Fantasia web novel I've been working on during the last 3 months. Borrowed a bit of inspiration from Tsuchimi Rui's incredibly popular Elf Force series, but Crimson Fantasia is much darker. In my twisted mind. Crimson Fantasia stars an average Japanese boy called Haru who, through a series of unfortunate circumstances, winds up being reincarnated in a magical world called Grimoire. As a Grimoire, he makes the plucky young sorceress Eris, who was raised an orphan in the slums. Erin looks your ten-a-penny ragged orphan, but she's actually a direct descendant of the royal family, one half of a set of twin princesses who were torn apart for reasons unknown. No, Crimson Fantasia sounds an awful lot like Elf Force based on the synopsis, but I'm just painting in broad brushstrokes. They're not actually that alike. Haru isn't as forgiving as Itsuki is, for one thing. He has quite the temper on him, something which Eris, who isn't shy or retiring, has to take him to task for. Then there's Eris herself. Unlike Elf Force Princess Liluna, who's beautiful and kind but during battles quite useless, Eris participates in fights alongside Haru as his equal. She's proficient in wielding a large number of weapons, but she prefers to use a scythe. I know scythes are pretty derivative in and of themselves, but they look cool, so whatever. I think it's fine. Nagi knows about Crimson Fantasia. I suppose she must have read it. I wonder. You a fan of Crimson Fantasia, Nagi? Oh, Ayamu, what sort of question is that? It was an earnest one. My mind is still all muddled. I can tell. I'm starting to worry that you've forgotten everything. I haven't forgotten about Crimson Fantasia or its fan base. You like it as well, don't you? How can you ask that, you big dummy? I know you're trying to be modest. That's one of your most appealing traits, but you don't need to worry about that. Not around me. You should know by now that I don't just like Crimson Fantasia. I love it. Oh, yeah? Yes, I'm its #1 fan, and that's saying something, given it's become so popular. I was there first, however, before it became so big. I was leaving you supportive comments right from the very beginning on your blog. That's how we ended up meeting, remember? That day you emailed me, asking me out for a coffee, was the most precious day of my life. I was so excited I thought my heart would burst. Like for real. I felt like I was meeting a celebrity. And in a way, I guess you are. You're quite the big shot. Sounds plausible, but I have a few doubts. Is Crimson Fantasia really that successful? Only in my dreams. We're gonna stay modest. Try and stay a little more grounded to reality. No matter what Nagi says, I don't think Crimson Fantasia has ever been pretty popular. I've sunk endless hours into that story, but I don't think it ever caught on. A few kind people commented on the story in the beginning, saying it seemed promising, but even these regulars dropped off past the 10th chapter or so. They adored my story, but the public at large didn't seem to care very much about it, if at all. It's much harder to get any meaningful attention than even a cynic like myself had imagined. I was a nobody, really. She at least was always there for me. She commented on every single new chapter of mine, even when I surpassed the 50-chapter barrier. Her screen name was Nagiko. I remember it well because I always looked forward to her feedback. Comments were detailed, well considered, and earnest. She asked me a lot of questions about Crimson Fantasia's world setting, the characters' philosophies, and their developing relationships. I thought her enthusiasm was pretty cute. Well, I say she, but I never actually knew Nagiko's gender. I just assumed she was a girl based on her screen name. I can't remember sharing any private emails with Nagiko, and I certainly can't remember meeting her in public. But if the smiling girl sitting in my sickbed is anybody, it makes sense that she would be Nagiko. Did I pluck up the courage to email her after all? So, that's pretty impressive. Go me, not as socially awkward as I thought. So, if you're Nagiko, I can feel my thoughts whirring inside my head like clockwork. Piecing this together is quite a struggle. That must mean you really are my girlfriend, then? Yes, that's right. What else would I be, silly IMO? I'm your girlfriend, and I love you lots and lots. I love you so much, in fact, I'm going to do my best to nurk you back to tip-top fashion, or my name isn't Nagi. And it looks like you could use it, too. Now, let's see how your temperature's doing. Nagi leans in, then presses her forehead against mine. Her lips are very close to mine, to such a degree I can't help but think about kissing her. Nagi peers into my eyes curiously, her face pressed perilously close, while I, not knowing what else to do, sit there feeling like a stone statue. I was hot already thanks to my fever, but I feel even hotter now. My palms are starting to sweat. I feel Nagi's breath against my cheek. Very soft, and, though I know I'm being silly, feels quantifiably different to my own humdrum everyday breathing somehow. Something about Nagi's irrefutable femaleness is amping this interaction up to 11. Why am I shaking so much? Forehead is like ice against mine. I may as well be pressing myself against a window pane in the winter. Doesn't blood run through Nagi's veins? She looks so perfect, I wouldn't be wholly unsurprised. So pretty she might as well be made of plastic. Is this subtle foreshadowing? Mayhaps? Do feel pretty warm, yeah. I guess there's nothing else for it. You'll have to go back to bed, mister. Is that an order? It was more a request, really. I can order you around, however, if you're into that. Should Nurse Nagi tell you to lie back down on the double? You could, yeah. What if I refuse, though? Then I'll have to give you an injection. That's what naughty boys who don't listen to their nurses deserve. No, I don't want any injections, please. You don't want me to hurt you, do you? I know Nagi's joking, but the casual way she talks about hurting me makes me flinch. Brings back memories. I remember. But no, that was just a bad dream. Surely. I don't want to think about it. Perhaps I would be better off sleeping after all? I think we slept last time. And then that brought us to the kitchen, I think. So we're gonna try and stay awake this time. No, it's alright. I've already slept a lot. I don't think I'm ready to snatch 40 winks just yet. Are you sure? You'll never be able to shake the sickness if you don't get enough rest. I'm worried about you. Nagi's eyes bore into mine. They look very large, almost all-encompassing in a way, and I swallow. I could get lost in those eyes if I let myself. I don't want to let my self-appointed nurse down, but... No, it's fine. I appreciate your worry, but I'm a grown man. I can look after myself, more or less. You say that, but I know better. I beg your pardon? Well, that was an unexpectedly harsh tone. Does Nagi have some dirt on me or something? You heard what I said. You say you can look after yourself, but who's the one who let his shower get all grotty, huh? Oh, do I have a nasty shower? Who's the one that left that huge box of potatoes your parents shipped to you from the countryside under your bed for months and months until they started sprouting feelers? Who's the one who never cooks, and on the rare occasion he tries, peels his fingers or gets eggshells in his omelet, Who would that be, Ayamu? I'm sure I have no idea. Well, shit. No, Nagi's face could do that. He doesn't look very cute now, in the midst of chewing me out. But maybe I deserve it. I am a disaster of a human, after all. I'm sorry, Nagi. I know I'm pretty awful at looking after myself. No, you don't say. And I'm glad that I have you around to clean up after me. I really am. I appreciate everything you've done for me. You're too good to me. What, really? Do you remember everything now, Ayamu? Not entirely, no. I can remember the way my apartment used to look, though, which was something of a squalid hellhole. And that's being rude to squalid hellholes. Nagi's the one who painstakingly swept my floor clean of empty soda bottles, junk food wrappers, and worn clothes. And she's even better than a girlfriend. She must be some kind of goddess. I remember that you've done a lot for me, yeah? I know you're always putting me first, which is sweet of you. You don't have to worry about me right now, though. I'm running a bit of a fever, sure, but it's not that serious. I'm not about to die. You don't need to keep me in bed around the clock. So you say. But I'm afraid if I don't keep a close eye on you, you'll start pushing yourself too hard. That's why you need to rest. I'll be fine. Simply being with you is restful enough. Oh, Nagi stammers and then blushes. I didn't think that corny line would actually work on her, so I'm pretty surprised. I have written much more romantic lines in the past in Crimson Fantasia, and the quieter, more serious scenes exchanged between Haru and Ares. I don't have much experience with relationships, at least until I met Nagi, so working on those scenes always took a while. It was like pulling teeth, only it was even more excruciating. Can't think of anything worse than making a clueless virgin write romance scenes. Are you sure about that, Ayamu? I'm quite sure. I'm getting tired of staying in bed, actually. It's starting to make me feel a little bit insane. So why don't you let me help out? You took time making that rice porridge for me, so I might as well do the washing up. Wouldn't that be fair? Maybe we did do this decision last time. It's been a while. I don't quite remember. I hate washing up and household chores in general, but it seems important that I volunteer my services to Nagi. I don't want her to think I'm a complete waste of space. Nagi, however, doesn't seem too impressed by my suggestion. She doesn't thank me. Instead, she tuts. Don't be silly. You're much, much too tired to wash the dishes. I'm tired, but I'm not that tired. I can handle a few chores. You might be able to handle it, but that doesn't mean you should. You want to leave everything to me. That's why I came here, dummy. I did it to look after you, so you can recuperate as much as you want. You really should be sleeping. But if you're really not tired, maybe you can sit in the kitchen with me while I do the washing up. We can talk if you want. You can tell me about the latest plot developments you have in mind for Crimson Fantasia. That would be fun. It's not a bad idea, I guess. Sure beats staying in bed all day, languishing. You sure you want to hear about the next chapter, though? You don't want me to spoil it, do you? I don't mind. You always bounce plot ideas around with me. It's nothing new. Do I indeed? Can't say I recall that. But then again, I don't recall much of anything. I shouldn't question it. Alright, let's do that. Yay. Let me get started on the dishes then. You can come with Ayamu. I'm really pumped to see how Ares is going to get out of this one. Hehehe. Like he helps me out of bed with all the consideration you might show an elderly grandparent. Right arm snakes around my waist, and her chest presses against my side. She's close enough to me that I can feel her hair on my cheek. Let Nagi lead me to the kitchen, although in actuality I don't think I'm so very sick that I really need her help. Her thoughtfulness is appreciated, though. She's being very gentle. Nagi settles me down at the table, then turns to the sink. She turns on the tap deftly, in a way that suggests a familiarity with my kitchen, and sets to work. The water cascades against the basin of the sink in a regular manner, like rainwater down a gutter. She begins to hum to herself as she washes up. It's a light, lilting sort of hum, something distinctly melodic. All the while, the pot in the sink begins to fill with water. I watch captivated as this water bursts its banks, then spills all over the sides of the pot and into the plug hole. Very captivating. Nagi continues to work like this for a brief while, unimpeded before she speaks up. So, Ayamu? Nagi glances at me from over her shoulder, still smiling. What's going to happen in the next chapter of Crimson Fantasia? Inquiring minds are simply desperate to know. Eris was in a tricky spot when Chapter 63 let off. Things were looking kind of dicey. Can't see how she's going to fight her way out of this. Not when Haru's been detained. There's no way you can kill her off, though. She's much too important. Wasn't planning to kill Eris, no. She's a central part of the story. Without her, Haru would totally be lost. He relies on her a lot, just like she relies on him. They're pretty codependent. Well, I knew that much. The relationship is pretty cute, really. Even if Eris is too proud to say that she likes him. That's another reason why she can't die here. I won't accept it. She has to at least confess to Haru first. Otherwise all that work you put into establishing the relationship would have been for nothing. Of course, I considered that too. I don't want the conclusion of Haru and Eris' romance arc to be unsatisfying. Still have a lot of plans for Eris. Her story isn't even nearly over yet. Glad to hear it, but how's she gonna escape then? She won't get a last-minute power-up, will she? No, I don't think. That'd be too cliché. I was thinking of having Harmonia rescue her, actually. Oh, that'd be a great way to re-establish their relationship. I know Harmonia's wanted to get to know her sister better, but she's never really had the chance. She's too busy with all that princessy stuff. Anyway, Eris is so aloof. Eris has to learn to set their differences aside, though. I don't think she'll ever be happy otherwise. I agree with you there, yeah. I want to give Eris and Harmonia a chance to make up with one another properly. Having Harmonia save Eris from a life-or-death situation seemed the best way to go about it. Harmonia would probably feel obliged to act, in any case, given Eris is her twin sister. She's felt guilty ever since Eris was cast out of the palace because of that silly prophecy. She's wanted to help her sister for years. I'm having some doubts about this story beat. You are? Yeah, it seems a bit derivative, I guess. I know there's a similar scene with Astra and Cornelia in Elf Forest, and, well, Harmonia is a princess and her parents are very overprotective. They never let her leave the castle. She was only able to sneak out before because she was disguised. But her guards captured her and brought her back. Now her parents know about her old escape route. It'd be even harder for her to get away. Not sure if Harmonia would be able to escape the confines of her change route to see her sister. And even if she did, would she really be able to help stop the Arcanists? Harmonia knows a bit of magic, but she's nowhere near as strong as Eris. Nabelle, she'd probably be a hindrance. Maybe in a normal fight she'd be standing up for her own sister, though. I think that'd give her a boost. I guess. Doesn't really solve the initial problem, however. Getting her to the fight in the first place. Oh, it's fine. I'm sure you'll be able to figure something out, Ayamu. You're a genius, after all. I think genius is overselling me a little bit. I don't think it's selling you enough. You've written a lot of Crimson Fantasia in such a short space of time, too. I think it's all super impressive. Characters are also lifelike. They feel just like real people, especially Haru and Eris. They have so much depth. They have so many hopes and dreams. And the fight scenes are really cool, too. If anybody can think of a satisfying conclusion to this arc, I'm sure you can. I mean, obviously you can. You're the one who invented this whole universe. I guess. My reply when it comes is non-committal. I appreciate Nagi's support, but... Did Nagiko really say all that? Ooh. Embarrassing. I think we gotta question. We gotta question more. Or else we're just gonna fall asleep again. Nagiko used to praise Crimson Fantasia a lot, but her praise wasn't wholly devoid of constructive criticism. She would always tell me when certain story elements didn't come together. She complimented my work on the characters just like Nagi did, but when she thought the drama I introduced in Chapter 34 with Eris's long-lost sister, Harmonia, was sloppily executed. In fact, I don't think Nagiko ever much liked the inclusion of Harmonia in Crimson Fantasia. She said Eris's relationship with her sister took too much attention away from her budding romance with Haru. As much as Nagiko liked Crimson Fantasia, she never called me a genius either, unlike Nagi just did. I'm certain of that much, at least. But am I imagining that? Nope. Oh god, we're losing it. My head is starting to hurt again. I don't know what to think, but I do know, despite my misgivings, something isn't quite right about this. Nagi's smile looks all of a sudden disconcertingly inorganic. The air about me begins to hum, as though full of 1,000 languidly buzzing insects. Reality seems to shift to warp, and then... Ayamu? Oh god, she's got the knife. Nagi looks at me, her brow creased with concern. She's still standing by the sink, and in one hand she's holding a quite a sharp, hefty knife. She must have been in the middle of cleaning it, because the silvery blade of the knife is damp with water. Few clear, crystalline droplets of water roll down the shaft of the knife, then pool at the junction where the blade meets the handle. Nagi's fingers are wet, so is the front of her blouse. I watch as round, pearl-like droplets roll off the blade, then fall through the air. It's almost hypnotic. I find myself staring at the sharp blade of Nagi's knife, and the water that's trickling down it until my head begins to ache. A dull buzzing sound fills my skull. I feel like I'm on the brink of remembering something, but... Ayamu? Looking worried now, Nagi casts the knife into the sink, where it lands with a dull metallic clatter, and rushes over to me. She rests her hands on either side of my chair, effectively fencing me in, and leans towards me, damp chest inches from my own. Ayamu, are you alright? And I look at Nagi dazedly. Her face is inches away from my own. Her eyes really are huge. All of a sudden, everything feels like too much. The walls of my kitchen are cramped, claustrophobic. Feels like they're closing in on me. I can't breathe. I close my eyes, squeezing them shut in an attempt to steady myself. I inhale slowly, then exhale. I can smell mold and mildew. I can smell decomposing food, unwashed clothes, and the stench of my dirty skin. I can smell copper, rust, and blood. My eyes are beating inside my skull in tandem with my heart. My stomach churns. I feel like I'm going to vomit. Ayamu? But the moment passes. My eyelids flicker open, and once again, and my eyes meet Nagi's, so full of concern, practically pregnant with it, that I feel guilty for worrying her. I'm a boyfriend, I am. I think we're glimpsing the real world. I'm sorry. Just felt a little lightheaded, that's all. But I'm fine now. You don't need to worry about me. Well, of course I'm going to worry about you. I care about you. I know you want to act tough and all, but you don't need to put on a front around me. I can see right through you. You're feeling sick again, aren't you? Maybe a little. I knew it. Nagi sighs. You guys are all the same, I swear. You're all so boneheaded. Like to act tough even when you're unwell until it all gets too much and you can't keep pretending. By that point, however, it's already too late. You're awful at asking for help. Now let's get you settled again, beneath your sheets. I'll not have you overexerting yourselves, not on my watch. I'm actually feeling a little better since that strange experience I had, but I doubt anything good will come from telling Nagi about this. I don't think she'll listen to me. She looks too annoyed. For such a slender girl who isn't particularly tall, she's surprisingly stern. Alright, you know best. Wouldn't want to make my nurse worry, so I'll try to take better care of myself. See to it that you do. I can help, but there's only so much I can do. It's with this stern rebuke that Nagi helps me to my feet. Alright, we have to answer the phone this time. This is where we went wrong last time. She guides me back to my bedroom, her left arm wound around my waist to steady me. I let her walk to my bedside, and I let her sit me down. She pulls back my covers in one deft, smooth movement, a bit like a magician, and obediently I lie on my back. There, that's much better. You should be safe now, Ayamu, so don't fret. I'm going to keep a really close eye on you, see? I'm not going to let anybody hurt you, not while I'm around. Not even you, hee hee hee. Nagi giggles to herself, then bends, her long hair cascading over her slender shoulders. Looks like she's reaching for something, but what? Watch on, my interest peaked. There's much else to watch in my small bedroom, which has been scoured clean, as Nagi retrieves a mysterious object from the ground. It's woolen, whatever it is, comprised of numerous pastels, baby blues and pale pinks. Its shape is strange and indeterminate, immutable almost. I can't quite place what it's supposed to be. In Nagi's fingers she's holding a pair of spiked implements, which, if their ends weren't so blunt, that might be good ways to torture somebody. Wonder what they could be. She's knitting, dude. Come on. Hey, Nagi, what's that? Oh, this? I just thought I'd do some knitting. You know, it's one of my hobbies. Do I know that? I'm not sure, but I probably should. I hope this isn't bothering you, Ayamu? No, it's fine. I don't mind. Please feel free. That's what I like to hear. I'll do some knitting, then while you lie down. Do you want to have a nap? Not just yet. I'm not tired. Are you sure? You look a little drowsy to me, but if you're not ready to nod off just yet, I suppose I can turn the TV on. I don't know what's airing right now, but that should be more interesting than staring at the walls or watching me knit. I think watching Nagi knit is perfectly interesting myself. Softly dexterous with her fingers. Fingers with which, I think that's supposed to be which, are long and slender, almost like needles themselves. Shiver runs up my spine, and unnerved I glance away from Nagi. It's not like Nagi's fingers are much different from my own, even if her skin is paler, but they don't quite look quite right. They remind me of a doll's. Do they have too many joints? That's ridiculous, though, surely. Ayamu, is something wrong? Oh, no, I'm fine. Let's see what's on TV, shall we? That sounds like a plan to me. I retrieves the remote from my bedside table and switches the TV on. My TV's an old, boxy set, more than a dozen years out of date, and the picture flickers quite a lot. Never really bothered watching it myself because the shaking picture made me feel seasick. I think I can endure that right now, though. I feel so sick already, I doubt this old TV will be able to make things much worse. Nagi flips through the channels idly, past the news, which seems to be too depressing, and some documentary about lions on the Serengeti, which she says is too violent, till she settles on some kids' cartoon. Seems to be a magical girl show based on the designs of the characters. And cast is comprised of elementary school-age girls with wide eyes and big bright hair that reminds me of plasticine. It's really cute, I guess. It's inoffensive, a bit like Namiki's homemade rice porridge. Not really into kitty stuff like this, but I can deal with it. Is this alright, Ayamu? It's fine, I guess. Should be able to distract from my sickness, if nothing else. Wish the screen wasn't flickering so much, though. Good, let's leave this on then. I'm pretty fond of this series, actually. You are? Yeah, who doesn't love magical girls? I was really into this stuff when I was a kid. I wanted to be a magical warrior myself one day. I wanted to save the whole world with the power of love. I even wrote that on my career survey back in first grade. I think my teacher was a bit bemused, but what did they expect? That's what all little girls want to be. So how did that go? Were you able to make your dream come true? Well, none of my wishes on shooting stars have come true just yet. I still haven't met my own fairy, and I haven't been given a transformation item. I did figure out, however, that I don't need to save the whole world. That'd be quite an undertaking. My love might be boundless, but my energy isn't. It can't be everywhere at once. clack, clack, clack go Nagi's knitting needles. But I can be by your side. That's all I want, really. And you're going to be my magical girl? Well, why not? Sounds like a worthy challenge, especially since you're so bad at looking after yourself. Hey, was that really necessary? All's fair in love and war, Ayamu. Anyway, you know I'm right. We were in a really bad state before you met me. I worry what might have happened to you if we'd not started dating. Clack, clack, clack. But we don't need to worry about that, because I'm here. I'll always be here. Ah, it's creepy. That's what magical girls do. I don't like the emphasis on always. I thought you were my nurse, though. There's nothing stopping me from being a magical nurse. I guess not, no. I wonder what that would look like. Me too. I might have to sketch up an idea. You can draw? No, I can draw, silly. Who do you think sent you all that fan art of Eris? Good point. I can remember that, at least. The art that Nagiko sent me, of her renditions of Crimson Fantasia's main characters, was very precious to me. It made quite the impression. Nobody else had ever drawn me art of my own characters, not before nor after. I was so elated when I received those drawings, I couldn't stop smiling. I was on cloud 9 for the whole day. If anybody had seen me, they'd probably have thought that I looked creepy, and maybe I did. I didn't care, though. That was the first time I'd ever felt so happy. This warm feeling floods my stomach once more as, contented, I look back to the television set. The episode looks to be an important one. The main magical girl, whose name is, of all things, Pumpkin, is facing off what I assume is the final boss. Is this the season finale? An episode for me to start on. Pumpkin stares up at her rival with narrowed eyes. She says, I can't let this stand. I have to save. I won't give up her dreams. The colors on the screen are a little distorted, and so is Pumpkin's voice. But I think I understand what's going on, more or less. I continue to watch the show, and Nagi continues to knit. The regular clack, clack, clack of her needles acts as a backdrop to the action on screen. It's quite a soothing sound. It merges with the sounds of my own breathing. The irregular static of the television set. My eyelids begin to droop. I think I must have begun at some point to drift off. But I'm swiftly snapped back into consciousness by a series of harsh electronic beeps. Here we go. That sounds familiar. Is that my phone? Somebody must be trying to call me. I clean forgot when I was looking for a clock earlier about my phone. Its existence had slipped my mind. Now I can hear my phone ringing. However, now that I can feel it vibrating against my upper thigh, I'm surprised it could have evaded my attention for so long. Why didn't I think to check it earlier? I reach into my pocket. My fingers curl about my phone, but before I can retrieve it, Nagi looks at me and says, Ignore that. Huh? I look at Nagi, nonplussed. What's the matter? That infernal buzzing is the matter. Don't bother with your phone, Ayamu. I doubt it'll be anything important. Just hand it over to me. Here's a good boy. You're too sick to take any calls right now. But nothing! Nagi's face distorts, but it lasts only an instant. She inhales, and she says very calmly, I'm saying this for your own good, Ayamu. Don't look at me like that. I would never, ever do anything to hurt you. She sounds pretty insistent about this. Then again, so does the mystery caller, who still hasn't hung up. My phone is still buzzing in my pocket. I feel it juddering against the fingers of my right hand, which are pressed against it. It'd be easy to take my phone out of my pocket, then answer it. It would be equally easy to hand my phone over to Nagi. She seems so worked up about this for some reason, which is escaping me, and I don't want to upset her. She is doing this for my sake, after all. What should I do? Okay, save screen has minor spoilers, because I have played this before, but I forget most of the story, so... Don't look! Don't look! Save one! Okay, we're good. We're answering it. Nagi might not be very happy about this, but continued buzzing of my phone is making me wonder. I'd like to discover who's calling me at the very least, so I can determine whether it's something important. What if it's one of my lecturers from university, wondering where I am? 1 second. Okay. Granted, that thought does make me feel a little sick. Sicker than I am already, I mean. But I still don't think there's anything to be gained by avoiding this call. It's with this thought in my mind that I extricate my phone from my pocket, then check who's currently calling me. I was hoping looking at the caller would shed some light on the situation, but... it's an unknown number. Well, that's not very helpful. It's probably a scam call. Then I might as well take it just to make sure. Accept the call, then press my phone to my ear and address them. Hello? Who is this? I'm met initially by the low hum of static. Can't hear anything on the other end of the line beyond a faint buzzing that sounds like flies, no matter how I try to strain my ears. Is this a waste of time? Hello? Hello? Who is this? Try again, repositioning my phone against my ear as though this might help. At the moment, I do hear it. Somebody's crying. They're crying my name. Ayamu. Oh, please, Ayamu. It's hard to identify the speaker given the call is modulated with static, but their voice sounds familiar. It's a female voice. How much, at least, I can discern. It's high-pitched and breathy, and it sounds stricken. Ayamu, please, wake up! Oh god. What has happened? Oh, are we still live? Oh, are we still live? I think we're good. Okay, I got some artifacting on my end in my preview. Maybe we're good though. Ayamu, please, wake up! Huh? What do they mean by that? Did I mishear them? The line's so bad that's not beyond the realm of possibility, but... I think that's enough of that. Frowning Nagi reaches out before I have a chance to formulate a reply and plucks my phone from my hand. Thought I was gripping onto my phone pretty tightly, but Nagi's able to wrest it from me without too much effort. Tight-lipped Nagi looks down at the caller. She clicks her tongue. Then she hangs up. What a waste of time. Nagi stashes my phone in her own skirt pocket and plants her hands on her hips. You shouldn't have answered that, Ayamu. I told you not to. You're in no fit state to talk to other people right now. Anyway, it's only upset you. What? But Nagi... I look at Nagi and my girlfriend uneasily. Can't see her own expression, of course, but I can feel it twist... Oh, I can't see my own expression, of course, but I can feel it twisting. I don't know who was calling, but they sounded really distressed. They were calling out to me. They told me to wake up. What do you think that means? Doesn't mean anything. It's just a prank. Don't pay it any heed. It's probably one of your friends at university playing pretend. Goodness. People can be so inconsiderate. They must have too much time on their hands if they think teasing you is a good use of their time. I have half a mind to phone them back. Give them a piece of my mind. I don't want to give them the satisfaction. They don't deserve it. Well, let's not talk about this anymore. The less said about your so-called friends, the better. Other people are all annoying. Let's not worry about them, alright? Right. I'll try to forget about that then. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hee hee. The manner of the mysterious caller settled, a giggling Nagi returns to her knitting. I watch her, my head propped up on my pillows. Nagi manipulates her needles through her amorphous pastel creation. Clack, clack, clack. The sear sunlight which spills through my window catches on the edge of the needles, so they seem to flash. The regular repetitive sound of Nagi's needles puts me in mind of cracking bones. Nagi looks content, though, poring over her knitting, but my own feelings of uneasiness remain. My stomach is churning again. What is going on here? I'm sure there's more than Nagi than what it might initially seem. Something more beyond her cute pom-pom earrings and her sweet smiling face, but clack, clack, clack. I can't think of what something more might be. I don't know who she is, but maybe I'm afraid to know. I'm afraid to ask her. I don't want to hear the answer. I should just keep quiet. It's easier to pretend that everything's alright. Let the sound of Nagi's knitting wash over me. Are we gonna fall asleep again? Clack, clack, clack. With sightless, unseeing eyes, I turn my attention back to the television. Some time passes like this. I don't know how much until Nagi eventually sets her knitting down. She stretches, raising her slender arms above her head, and says in a lilting sing-song, My, it's getting late. I must have gotten carried away. Nagi turns to look out the window, as do I. I didn't realize it, being so engrossed in the TV screen and in the sound of Nagi's knitting needles, but the day really has flown by. There's a light azure blue beyond the panes of my window when I last looked, but it's not now. The sky is pitch black. I suppose it's true what they say. Time flies when you're having fun. Hee hee. Were you having fun? I would have thought you'd been bored out of your mind sitting with me all day. Can't have been that exciting. Oh no, Ayamu, perish the thought. Being with you is never boring. You're my boyfriend after all, and I love you a lot. How could I ever find your company dull? There's barely any company. We weren't even talking. You don't need to. Being with you is enough to make me happy, silly. Huh. Is that so? Nagi's telling the truth, then. She must have low standards. We might save here, too. Okay, don't look. Spoilers! Okay, we're good. Low standards. We're going low standards. We're keeping suspicious. I don't think there's anything special about me when I'm awake and alert, much less when I'm half asleep. Nagi must have some sort of agenda here. Either that or she's easy to please. I wonder which is worse. Now. Nagi stretches, then rises. Her black skirt shifts about her thighs, and she smooths the fabric down absently between her palms. I should probably prepare some dinner for you, dear. You must be starving. I hadn't realized it until Nagi said it, but she's right. That rice porridge I had earlier is all the food I've had today. I should be a lot hungrier than I actually am. Let me see what you have in the fridge. Nagi heads off to the kitchen, her slippered soles impressing themselves almost soundlessly against the floor. I hear the sound of the kitchen door opening, then a faraway rustle of activity. Imagine Nagi standing by the fridge, bathed in its cool and unnatural light, one finger held to her chin and her brow furrowed in thought. What will she find in there? Is there anything to find? I can't remember the last time I went to the store. Surprised I had enough ingredients lying around for her to make that rice porridge. A few moments pass before I hear the faint sound of the kitchen door slamming. Nagi must have given up on her search for sustenance, something which becomes rapidly apparent when she says, after materializing in the doorway, "There isn't very much in the fridge, nothing at least I can really use. I think I'm going to have to go to the convenience store. You don't mind waiting a little for your dinner, do you, Ayamu?" "Oh no, that's fine." I haven't taken a look at the inside of my fridge in a while, but I can't imagine Nagi found much more in there beyond a couple of eggs, some slices of plasticky cheese, and some expired vegetables. I've been living on cup noodles mostly for the last few months, those and rice crackers. Can't really go wrong with rice crackers, though they don't make for the most nutritious of meals. I'll try not to be too long. I don't like leaving you. You will be alright on your own, won't you? I'm sure I will. You don't need to fuss. I'm not a child. I know you're not, but sometimes you can be so petulant. Am I being petulant right now? Well, maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Promise me you'll stay here, won't you? Be a good boy now. Yeah, I promise. Hey, don't you yeah me, mister. I'm saying this, you know, because I care about you. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm mad. I don't think we would. His voice is light, but I can sense a threatening undercurrent behind her words. She sounds very invested in making me stay here. More, perhaps, than simple concern about my health might dictate. Does she really think I'm that frail? It's not like I'm gonna turn into dust the moment I step outdoors. I'm not a vampire. That's what I'd like to tell her, but something about her expression stops me short. This isn't the sort of expression I want to argue with. Right, I'll stay here. You promise? That's right, I promise. Good, I'll hold you to that. Don't forget it, Ayamu. If you lie, I might just have to make you swallow 1,000 needles. Isn't that a little harsh? No, it's a fairly standard punishment, I think, as far as these things go. In any case, you would deserve it. You might be my wonderful boyfriend, but I won't absolve you of all your crimes. Lying is bad, Ayamu. It's a sin. Lying to a cute girl like me is the biggest sin of all. Oh, now that's an interesting way of looking at things. Does lying become more grievous an offense the cuter the person being lied to is? I've not heard that one before. I'll be off now then. Stay safe, darling. I will. See you later. Of course, it's not like you're going to go anywhere. I'll be back before you know it. Watch as Nagi bends to put on her shoes. Her hair falls over her shoulder in the process, brushing her cheek. With her shoes on, she then stands, her pale, slender fingers curling around the door handle. Too many joints. The handle shifts. Then the lock clicks and Nagi steps out into the hallway. The sound of the closing front door echoes through my apartment. It's low and dull, like an audible piece of punctuation. Now that she's gone, I feel... I think we're a little relieved right now. We're gonna keep on the suspicious route. Saving, don't look. Do I feel relieved or do I feel lonely? If I'm lonely, maybe I want to go after her. It's interesting. I'm gonna go relieved because it's the suspicious route. I'm gonna say suspicious. Nagi's absent. I feel like I can finally breathe again. In her company, I found myself forever holding my breath, second-guessing her every remark or movement, without being aware that this was what I was doing. Sweet though she might be, I don't feel comfortable around here. I think there's more to her than she's letting on, but I don't know what that might be. She might call herself my girlfriend, but how can that be? I can't remember spending any time with her before, and regardless of how sick I might be, it seems unlikely that my fever would be strong enough to completely obliterate all of my memories. The things she says aren't mapping onto the things I know. I have no idea how she got into my apartment, nor why she seems to know so much about me, but I don't know if I can trust her. I don't know if I can take that risk. I don't think I want to spend more time with her. What then should I do? Should I sit here in bed like a good little boy, waiting for an inevitable, invariable return from the shop? Or would I be better served to try and stage an escape? No, we're leaving. We're getting out of here. I think, if my hazy memory serves me right, this might be a bad idea, but we're going to see what happens anyways. Turn my options over in my head for a few moments before eventually I come to a conclusion. I'm gonna have to leave. Something strange is going on here, from the persistent static of my television to the crying voice which called me to the telephone, and I want to figure out what it is. I'm not gonna make any headway on that if I do everything Nagi asks of me. She might call herself my nurse, but she's starting to feel eerily like a prison warden. That being the case, I have no choice but to stage a jailbreak. Throw my covers back, which feel a little damp. I think I must have sweated over them. Gross. And haul myself to my feet. My legs feel weak, but they don't, to my relief, collapse beneath me. They're just about strong enough that I can support myself. Strong enough to buoy me from my bedside, and over to the kitchen. I push the door open, which cleaves to my touch with a creak, then step inside. The moment I cross the threshold of my kitchen, however, pain pierces my temple, and I double in on myself. My fingers fly to my forehead and I groan. What? My vision begins to blur. What am I looking at here? A trash bag? I blink. I'm not going to pass out, am I? Is my fever really that bad? In a few moments I think I see at least, the way my kitchen ought to be. I see a sink piled high with dirty pots and dishes, some of which are cracked. Countertops are covered with crumpled empty soda bottles and aluminum cans. The floor is covered in rubbish, so much so I can scarcely see the fake wooden boards beneath it. Flies hum in the air, suspended on silvery wings which beat back and forth. This is why they have so much insect imagery, because the house is like covered in flies. There are flies in the sink. There are flies in the dustbin, which is overflowing. One of them lands on my forearm, and I cry in alarm. I slap at the fly, but it evades me. It buzzes off, its wings beating back and forth like a droning hum. A dull pain throbs in my arm where I slap myself and in my palm. I must have used more force than I realized. I blink and then... the world has reverted back to the way it was before. The countertops are clean, as is the floor. Everything is impeccably tidy. The plates and cups and dishes all stowed away in their respective cupboards. My kitchen looks wholly respectable again. It's the sort of kitchen that not even the most meanest, pettiest of landlords could find fault with. It's a tidy kitchen, indisputably, but it isn't even my kitchen. This isn't what I remember. None of this is. The world is warping around me. Why does my head hurt so much? I stagger through the kitchen on uneasy feet, half expecting to step on crumpled pet bottles and strewn packages from convenience store foods, and head towards the sink. My fingers, which are white and shaking, grip the edge of my sink for support. With unfocused eyes, I look down. There should be dirty crockery in here, but expectations are once again betrayed. The sink is more or less empty, apart from the knife Nagi was washing earlier. She must have forgotten it. That was awfully clumsy of her. I eye the knife with some trepidation. I can see my own face reflected in its silvery surface. Almost seems to be goading me into taking it. Maybe I ought to bring it with me, just in case. Just in case what? I don't know. I feel so unnerved, however, a bit of protection would go a long way. This knife is quite long, though. There's no way I'd be able to hide it on me. Maybe there'll be a more inconspicuous weapon somewhere else in the kitchen. I start here and there until eventually I spot a pair of scissors. These are scissors that are used for cutting meat. They're slotted neatly in a circular pot full of similar utensils, wooden spoons, tongs, and the like. These scissors are smaller than the knife. They should be easier to hide. I think they probably fit inside my pocket, or if push came to shove, inside the waistband of my trousers. What should I do? Ooh, it's 3 option. Okay, we're saving. Don't look. Okay, I might seem crazy here, but I don't think we're taking anything. I think if she finds us, she's gonna... Oh, did we freeze again? Oh dear. It says we have no drop frames. Give me 1 second. Un momento. Seems as if we're frozen. No, I think we're good. No, I think we're good. Okay. Okay, I think we take nothing. That way, when she finds us, she's not, like, suspicious of us. Like, if we... that's damning evidence, having scissors or a knife. We're gonna take nothing. Call me crazy. I think I'd be better off going outdoors empty-handed. Wouldn't want to risk upsetting Nagi, should she see me with a weapon. In any case, I can't think of why I might need one. Why would Nagi want to hurt me? She's supposed to be my girlfriend. If I do see her, I'd like to think I'd be able to talk things through with her. What would I do with a pair of scissors anyway, much less a knife? I'm not a violent person. I feel faint at the sight of blood. My decision made, I turn on my heels and approach the front door. I fully expect it to be locked. Why should anything in my attempted escape be easy? But to my surprise, the handle twists easily enough beneath my fingers. The lock clicks, and then the door, rather anticlimactically, opens inward. I sigh, expelling a warm, feverish breath into the cool air. That was quite the surprise, but I'm not sure if it's wholly pleasant. The door had refused to budge. That would have given me an excuse to give up on my attempted escape. Wouldn't have to take my future into my own hands. Sounds like quite a tempting thought, actually. Surrendering myself to the votive hands of my sweet doting girlfriend? But no, I can't let myself think like that. The door's open despite all the odds. That must be a sign of something, surely? Means I shouldn't stay here. It's time to face reality. Thoughts like this swirl through my mind as I stand there in the threshold of my door, looking out into the hall. The hallway is dark, save for the strip lighting on the ceiling. These lights flicker ominously on and off. I can't see any windows. I don't know what the outside looks like. It's just one long, endless hallway, beige walls and a brown floor. Fluorescent lights. The lights are too bright. My eyes are starting to hurt. My head hurts too. Retreating would be much, much easier, but I know if I did that I would never be able to forgive myself. I squeeze my eyes shut in an attempt to steady myself. I inhale. Then I step into the hallway. The door of my apartment swings shut behind me with a dull thud, one that seems apocryphal. There'll be no turning back now. I pad down the hallway, slowly, softly, footsteps shy and shuffling. I'm grimly aware with every step I take that Nagi might return, might catch me trying to abscond. Look around anxiously as I walk. Doors pass me by, door after door after door, but they're all shut. The handles affixed to these doors look oddly sinister in the dark, and the lights which keep guttering on and off. They protrude from the smooth wooden surfaces of the doors like something violent. The light catches on these door handles, dozens and dozens of them, stretching on for infinity, and I shiver. It feels like the hallway is choking me. Where are the stairs? How am I going to escape? This audio is like fantastic, by the way. I'm loving this. Maybe I was a fool to disobey Nagi. Shouldn't have ignored her. She told me to stay inside for a reason. I'm starting to think that maybe this was the reason. She told me not to leave because I can't leave. This isn't an option. I want to turn back, but I don't. Instead, I continue to walk. I walk and I walk and I walk until the backs of my feet rub against my shoes and it starts to hurt. My heart is hammering in my chest. I can hear it reverberating inside my skull. It doesn't stop me from moving, though. I keep on walking. I walk and I walk and I walk and I walk and I walk, and the backs of my feet are still rubbing against my shoes. It still hurts. My heart is hammering in my chest. I can hear it reverberating inside my skull. It doesn't stop me from moving, though. I continue to walk. I walk and I walk and I walk and I walk and I walk, and the backs of my feet are really rubbing against my shoes now. It hurts a lot. My heart is hammering in my chest. I can hear it reverberating inside my skull. I still don't stop. I continue to walk, and I walk 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 until I reach what seems to be a bend in the hallway. There's something different at long last. I must be making progress. I hurry onwards, hoping to find the stairs, to find a lift, to find something that might help me escape from this nightmare. But like all nightmares, my attempts of escape are soon halted. I suppose I should have expected it. I think part of me did. I was just waiting for it. 100 unease, oh no. She's here. She has come to greet me. Her irises are cold and hard. 2 stones pressed into her skin. Her lips are pursed into a line which betrays not even the slightest flicker of emotion. In one hand she's holding a shopping basket, a cheap plastic thing, from which a Y-shaped head of a green onion protrudes. It's such a cliché, I could laugh. Nagi. I inhale. What are you doing here? Might be a more apt question, but it'd be a pointless one. I know what she's doing here. She's come to stop me from leaving. As for what her motives are, however, you have to ask? Nagi's voice, when it comes, is every bit as cold and hard as her expression, devoid of the cheery lilt to which I've grown so accustomed. I'm your girlfriend, Ayamu. I love you more than anybody else in the whole world. But right now, I think I hate you more than anybody else in the whole world, too. Nagi delivers this without any emotion whatsoever. Her love and her hate are wholly dispassionate. Might as well be talking about the weather. You shouldn't be out here. I told you not to leave. I made you promise. You said you would stay put, didn't you? Why didn't you? Do you want to upset me? No, that isn't it. Then what is it? There wasn't any particular reason, really. I just wanted some fresh air. It's an excuse, of course. A blatantly obvious one at that. It's almost laughable, in fact, given how dark and featureless this hallway is. How utterly devoid of windows. It's a place that seems sealed off from the outside world. There's no fresh air to be had here. It's all shut up and stagnant. What a fool I am. Nagi takes a step forwards. Her hair shifts about her shoulders. Her eyes bore into mine. Quietly, she says, I don't believe you. Nagi, please. I think you're lying to me. That is one thing I simply cannot forgive. You've upset me, Ayamu. You've been a very, very bad boy, and bad boys deserve to be punished. Nagi, wait, can't we talk about this? I cry at Nagi, but to little avail. I don't think she's listening to me anymore, if she ever was. Did she ever care what I wanted? Nagi's face is mask-like. Her eyes are blank and staring, 2 cutouts in her white, featureless face. Her grip on the carrier bag slackens. The bag hits the floor with a dull, almost anticlimactic thud. Then she steps towards me. You promised me you wouldn't leave, Ayamu. You promised. How could you lie to a cute girl like me? How could you? Nagi. I say her name, but it feels like a pointless gesture. I don't think she can be reasoned with. Discourse was never an option. I have no choice really but to run. I don't know what it is exactly that Nagi means to do to me, but I don't want to stay and find out. It's with a desperate gasp that I turn on my heels, almost stumbling in the process. Nagi isn't moving very quickly, but she's almost upon me already. How is that possible? Everything seems to be possible here. Reality is contradicting about itself. It's compressing. My world is shrinking. My world is this apartment, and the apartment is under Nagi's control. Does that make Nagi the world? What am I, then? Can I really escape from her? I don't know, but I have to try. I run through the hallway after hallway, pain knifing between my ribs all the while. The walls around me are morphing, they're melting. Wallpaper flakes off in strips around me, as though the apartment is peeling itself like a giant apple. The light fixtures above me blink, they gutter. The world is plunged into darkness before illuminating itself brightly, too brightly. Blink, white spots burst in front of my vision like fungi. The hallway is undulating. The world itself is pulsating. It changes so much with every single step. I feel dizzy. It's hard to maintain my balance, especially with Nagi pursuing me. Is she gaining on me? I swear I can feel breath upon the back of my neck, but I know I can't stop to check. I can't turn around. I dash through beige hallways and blue hallways, garish orange hallways and high-ceilinged hallways. The hallways are all devoid of windows. They twist and they turn like plastered, papered, painted rabbit warrens. I can't hear much beyond the sounds of my own footsteps, beyond my own heart beating. There's a faint sound in the background, like running water, an omniscient, ever-present hum. Flies? My kitchen was full of them. They hovered about the black rubbish bags which lay decaying upon the floor. I didn't bother to throw the bags away. I didn't try to get rid of the flies. It felt like a pointless endeavor. I endured them instead. I've been enduring a lot recently, but I can't keep going with it. I can't keep doing that. I need to escape. I have no idea how long I've been running. Always seem to stretch on forever. Can't make any sense out of them. My mind seems to have shrunken during the desperate flight to the size of a walnut. Can't fit any thoughts into my head. They're leaking out of me. I'm coming undone. Still, Nagi continues to pursue me. I don't think she'll ever stop. Doesn't matter how fast I run, she'll find me again. Why wouldn't she? She is my girlfriend, after all. She loves me. But why? It's with this question in mind that I finally escape from the maze of hallways which trap me among them. I descend a flight of stairs, the soles of my shoes slapping against every step. They emerge into a large empty space, with beige walls and a carpeted floor. I recognize this room. This is the entrance of my apartment building. I need only approach those glass doors at the end, and I'll be able to escape. That is my plan, at least. But my jubilation soon runs dry when I approach the exit. The doors are glass, and should, therefore, be transparent, but I can't see anything beyond them. I can't see the street. I can't see the road. I can't even see the sky. Where did the rest of the world go? I approach the doors. They ought to be automatic, but they don't move. Instead, they remain stubbornly shut. Well, shit. So much for that plan. Hey, Ayamu. I can hear Nagi's footsteps behind me, descending the stairs. Her pace is as slow as ever and unhurried. Now I know why she didn't bother running. She knew I wouldn't be able to escape from her. She knew there was nowhere for me to go. What do you think you're doing? Didn't I tell you it was pointless? I open my mouth, but I can't say much more than that. My saliva tastes like ashes on my tongue, and my stomach churns. You don't need to reply to me. Don't bother. I don't want to hear more of your lies. Nagi continues to advance on me, her arms swinging limply beside her. It hurts me, you know, when you run away from me like this. Can't you understand that? Thud, thud, thud goes Nagi's footsteps. They even sound unforgiving. She's relentless. Let's stop playing silly games. Come back upstairs with me. Let me put you to bed. What were you hoping to gain, anyway, by coming down here? Didn't you give up on the outside world already? You must have, otherwise you never would have been able to meet me. Something about what Nagi said just strikes a chord within me. I think I tried to commit suicide. Perhaps. I feel like I've been drifting ever since I woke up. Something has clicked into place. I can remember what happened. First there was the pain. When it hit me it was intense. So much so I felt like vomiting. For a while pain was all I knew. It was all my body was. There was a loud squeal of tires on tarmac, and the pitter-patter of rain which fell on the damp, glossy road, the smell of oil in the air, and the prismatic colors reflected in the puddles scattered about me. There was blood, too, an awful lot of it. I hadn't known I had quite so much blood inside me. My temple was cut, my body was crumpled, I could hardly breathe. I didn't want to breathe. People around me were shouting, screaming. Pedestrians clustered about me, stepping through puddles, splashing icy droplets of water about in their wake. Somebody probably called an ambulance. I don't remember that, though. This is where everything starts to get hazy. My consciousness began to unravel. Then I passed out. When I finally woke up, hours or days or weeks or months or centuries later, I was here, in this facsimile of my apartment, with Nagi sitting next to me. She said she was my girlfriend. I doubt that, though. I've never had a girlfriend before, and now I'll never get the chance. I was hit by a car. I should be dead. What's going on? You couldn't handle the real world, Ayamu. It was too much for you. There was a lot of pressure on you to perform, from your parents and from your professors, from yourself. It all became too much. You're delicate, so you got scared. You were afraid you would break, so you decided to run away from it all. No. Yes, you did. You know you did. You know what you are. Nagi takes another step forwards, till her nose is almost brushing mine. She reaches out. You're a coward. And her white, slender fingers seize my neck. Reality distorts the moment she touches me. Static hums inside my skull. My head feels like it's going to split apart. My body, sapped of all energy, lists to one side. My head hits the carpeted floor with a thud, just like it did on the roadside, and stars explode behind my eyelids. I blink. Uh-oh. I don't know how much time has passed, but when I finally come to, I see that Nagi is sitting on top of me. She's pinning me in place against the threadbare carpet, her thighs clenching my body in place upon the floor. The fingers of both her hands are wound around my throat, and her eyes are trained upon mine. The grasp she has on my neck is painful, but I think the soulless, empty look in those wide, tunnel-like eyes of hers is even more so. I can't writhe away from her. I can't escape from her. She has me immobilized so effectively she might as well have driven nails into my palms. Just give up, Ayamu. Nagi speaks calmly despite the violence of her actions. She sounds hollow, empty. People like you can't survive in the real world. You weren't made for it. You're too sensitive. Every failure felt like a knife to your throat. Every single setback made you want to cry. Nagi's fingernails bite into my skin. It hurts. You kept picking yourself up as best you could, but eventually enough was enough. You're weak, like I said, so your enough came before most people's would. You couldn't keep going. Nagi's eyes are so big I feel like I could drown in them. But there's no shame in that. You already recognized your limitations. That's why you did what you did. I don't need to tell you about your failures. I know about them already. Nagi. Nagi's long, fair hair is brushing my cheek. It tickles. Why are you doing all this? You should know that already. My answer is the same as it always been. I'm doing this for your sake. Mine? Yes, yours. I think you'll be happier this way. And deep down, I know that you think the same. Otherwise, you never would have stepped out into that busy road. Isn't this what you wanted? Is it what I wanted? I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I want to remember. My thoughts are all a blur, but Nagi's words have jostled something in my memory. She said I walked into the road. It can't have been an accident then. It was something I did on purpose. It isn't something a happy, well-adjusted person does. I haven't been happy or well-adjusted in a long, long time. I was trying to forget about that. I wanted to forget about it, but it's all coming back to me. I can remember what I did. I remember who I am. I'm Sato Ayamu, second-year student at a small, relatively unimpressive university in Tokyo. I've always been quiet, so I've never been very good at making friends. I didn't have any friends, in fact, at university. My first year was lonely, but I still attended my lectures. I still got my essays done, and I completed my end-of-year exams. I did what was expected of me. When my parents called me, which they often did, to check up on me, I told them everything was fine. I said I'd been having fun. But that was a lie. I was tired and stressed and overwhelmed, more often than not, and I was sad with it, because everyone else seemed to be enjoying themselves, but I wasn't. I didn't know how to enjoy myself. It was part way into my second year that I gave up on everything. Going to my lectures stopped feeling like a worthwhile endeavor. It didn't make me happy. I don't think anything could have cheered me up beyond human interaction, but that was impossible. I was too awkward. I didn't know what to do, so I had retreated in on myself. I shut myself away inside my apartment, because that was easier than going outdoors. It was easier than making an effort to change. I didn't take out the rubbish, so it overflowed. I didn't clean up my apartment, so it started to stink. I opened the windows during the summer when it was so hot and muggy, I felt like I was simply melting, lying down in my bed. But that let the flies in. I rarely brushed my teeth, barely showered, and hardly ever changed my clothes. There wasn't anything I wanted to do, so I didn't do anything. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't speak to anybody. I just lay in bed for days on end, scrolling through the internet on my phone or on my laptop, reading through some of my favorite light novel series. I had no plans, obligations, or responsibilities. This absence of external stimuli should have cheered me up. For a few days it did. The knot of anxiety which had been near constant companion throughout my time at university began to lessen. Finally, it felt, for the first time in a long while, I could breathe. But the air, when I breathed it in, stank of rancid food and my own unwashed body. My My eyes began to sting and my head pounded. I got headaches all the time back then. Maybe it was because of the smell. It was putrid. I'm surprised the people living in the apartments across the hall didn't complain about me. In time, my abundance of time began to feel more like a curse than a blessing. There were too many hours in the day, and I didn't know how to fill them. The lectures or essays to worry about, I had no idea what I was supposed to do with myself. Till I reread Tsuchimi Rui's Elf Forest. That was when I hit upon the idea of writing a story of my own. A story set in a fantasy universe bearing some similarities to Elf Forest, but of my own devising. I'd had the ideas for Crimson Fantasia for a while. I'd toyed with the idea of writing it, but always managed to talk myself out of it. I thought it'd be a repeat of my time spent trying to blend in with everybody else at university, and my best efforts would all be in vain. Nobody cared about me during the day-to-day, in the real world. Why would anybody care about my stories either? Telling it seemed pointless, but I had so much time I had to do something with it. I suppose that's why I started to write Crimson Fantasia. I didn't have anything better to do. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote like a man possessed, and I soon realized once I began, the writing was pretty fun to while away the hours. It made the days pass by more quickly, and it gave me a real sense of purpose. I'd hammered out most of the details about Crimson Fantasia's plot and characters already, so I didn't hit any major stumbling blocks. I didn't have to scramble to think up ideas. I didn't have to sit there agonizing while I wondered where the story should go. I already knew most of that. I just needed to get the story out of my head and onto my laptop in a format other people could experience. I wanted other people to experience Crimson Fantasia too. I'd put enough effort into it, so much so keeping it to myself would seem like a waste. I repurposed this old blog I'd had ages ago, back during high school, into a place to upload Crimson Fantasia. Second. Okay. I uploaded my story chapter by chapter, sometimes updating thrice weekly. I waited, my breath bated to see what sort of responses I'd get. I wasn't expecting miracles, of course. I didn't genuinely think, despite my daydreams, that Crimson Fantasia would attain the same level of critical and commercial success as Elf Forest. Who was I in comparison to Tsuchimi Rui? Nobody, really. I was just a university dropout with an overactive imagination. I told myself when I first began to share Crimson Fantasia that I'd be happy if only one or two people read it. They didn't even have to leave any comments on it. I just wanted to know that my story was out there in the world, that a few people knew it existed and liked it. That would legitimize my efforts. It would prove that writing wasn't a waste of time after all. My desires were fairly humble, or so I thought, and within the first few days of posting Crimson Fantasia's first chapter to my old blog, they were actually exceeded. Crimson Fantasia's first chapter was viewed by 42 times, and it received comments, 3 of them in fact. I can't remember 2 of these 3 comments. They were vague words of support, very brief and perfunctory, but I remember the 3rd. I'll never forget it. It was the first comment I ever received from Nagiko. Her feedback, I've always thought of Nagiko as a girl, was far more in-depth than which the other 2 commenters had left. She typed up several paragraphs exploring her feelings towards the story, its settings and its characters. She praised the oppressive atmosphere of the story, and how much detail I had gone into when rendering Haru's personality. Nagiko said she thought Haru was a pitiable sort of character, but she found him compelling. She promised me she would be waiting for the future chapters eagerly, because she couldn't wait to see how Haru would develop. She wanted him to use his second lease of life to become stronger. She wanted him to be happy, too. Naturally, I was elated that my story had prompted such an emotional response from one of its readers, and such a lengthy one at that. I thought about that review for days afterwards. Whenever it crossed my mind, I smiled. It was Nagiko's early support that encouraged me to keep working on Crimson Fantasia. I reworked the earlier chapters, which I had yet to publish, polishing and polishing until they shone. I began to make some changes, too, to the later chapters, To place more of a focus back on Haru's struggles as he traversed the world of Grimoire, I posted new chapters semi-regularly, and Nagiko commented on all of them. Sometimes it took her a day or two to leave me a mini-review, but she always did it. She was as reliable as clockwork. She gave me a regular feedback for months on end, 2 months on end in fact, during which I uploaded almost 50 chapters of my sprawling magnum opus. I didn't do anything during these months beyond writing Crimson Fantasia. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, fueled by Nagiko's praise. But this idyllic period didn't last forever. These things never do. It was on chapter 53 of Crimson Fantasia that Nagiko stopped leaving me feedback. 1 day passed, then 2, then 3. Still, Nagiko said nothing about the newest chapter. Well, I tried to tell myself, these things happen. Maybe she's busy. I didn't know a thing about Nagiko's life, but I knew she didn't have one. She did have one beyond Crimson Fantasia. She could have been working night shifts. She could have been studying for exams. She could have been on holiday. I told myself to be patient, and I waited. So a week passed. 2 weeks passed. Eventually a month passed, but Nagiko still did not leave a comment on chapter 53 of Crimson Fantasia. I'd written more chapters in the interim and published them, but Nagiko did not give me feedback on any of these either. Neither did anybody else. I'd put a huge amount of effort to rendering the world of Crimson Fantasia, but nobody seemed to care, not even Nagiko. For 3 months of my life I had done nothing but work on Crimson Fantasia. And to what end? It had been forgotten about. Nagiko had stopped caring about Grimoire, and about Haru, and about his adventures. She, who had been my most ardent, steadfast supporter, drifted away from my world, and from me. And I think that realization is what broke me. I stopped caring about my characters. I stopped caring about my story. I stopped caring about myself, too, which is probably why I did it. I stepped out into the middle of the road, just like Haru in the first chapter of Crimson Fantasia. Also like Haru, it was not a mistake. My actions were cold and calculated. I probably caused the driver of the car who hit me untold trauma, but I didn't care about them. I was only thinking about myself. I just wanted to escape. You wanted to be happy, right? Well, you can forget about that. You'll never be happy in the real world. People are thoughtless and selfish. They only ever think about themselves. They don't know how hard life is for you. And even if they did, they wouldn't care. Nagiko didn't care, but I do. I'm better than she is. Oh, whoops, that was her talking. Nagiko didn't care. But I did. That's why she did something. That's why you should stay here. Nagi's fingers are gripping my throat tightly enough to burn, but her hair is, by contrast, very soft, like a lover's embrace. She said that she loved me, but I still had my doubts. What is that love based on? After all, you're not Nagiko, then? I'm not, no. You never did pluck up the courage to speak to her, though you really, really wanted to. You did fantasize about it a lot, though. You wanted to talk to her, didn't you? You wanted her to be a pretty, homey girl who would support you, not just with your writing, but with the rest of your life. You wanted her to cook for you and to clean for you. You didn't want her to leave you. You thought with every message that she sent you that she might one day fall in love with you. And that's why you created me. Aren't I your ideal woman? Isn't this what you want? I open my mouth, perhaps meaning to counter, but Nagi interrupts me. Don't try to argue with me, please. It's a waste of your breath. And that is a precious resource you can't really afford to waste. I know what it is you want. I know everything that you think. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to me. What? Then that means... I stare at Nagi with such intensity, my eyes threaten to escape their sockets. I can't see my own face, which is probably a blessing, but I wouldn't be surprised if my skin is beginning to turn blue. It's hard to breathe, but I still try. I need to know before I succumb to Nagi's aggressive affection what exactly she is. Is any of this real? That depends on your definition of the word. Sure, it feels real enough at the moment, but your judgment might not be the best. You did lose a lot of blood. Your thoughts must be all jumbled. I'm sure this has all been very confusing for you ever since you woke up. I know this world isn't quite the same as the one you're used to. Nagi's fingers are still wrapped around my throat. She hasn't relented at all. If anything, I think she might be squeezing me even harder. Is she trying to prove her love to me? If so, her love is pretty intense. But if this is a dream, why fight against it? Reality is no good. That's why you started writing stories. You couldn't cope with the world, so you had to retreat into your own. You couldn't control your own life, but you could control the lives of your characters. You never had to feel anxious or unsure when you were writing, because it was all predictable. You planned everything out. You were content with that for a while. But in the end, you got greedy. You wanted more than a made-up happiness. You wanted somebody to love you. You tried to endure your loneliness as best you could, but everyone has a breaking point. You couldn't keep going. Please, make it stop. So you tried to put an end to it. It hurts too much. You tried. I can't keep enduring this. But you failed. You made a mess of things, just like you made a mess of everything. Nagi, please. But that's all right. I still love you, no matter how much you screw up. I love you no matter how pathetic and pitiful you are. I'll love you while you're still clinging to life, and I'll love you even after you've died. I'll always love you, Ayamu, like nobody else can. I don't have any choice in the matter. I was born to be in love with you. It hurts so much. I thought I'd already died once, so why? So why don't you let me do that? Stay with me, Ayamu. I'll take good care of you. Nothing will ever hurt you again. All you need to do is obey me. Don't fight me. You don't want to break my heart, do you? Nah. Gee. My vision is beginning to blur. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It hurts. But Nagi said she was going to take care of me. If I agree to stay with her, will she let go of me? Will she make the pain go away? I don't want to hurt anymore. I'm tired of hurting. I've been hurting for such a long time, and nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Nobody did but Nagi. It's not like I can fight her off anyway, even if I wanted to. There's nothing I can do but surrender. Nothing I can say except, all right. I won't try to escape again. I promise. Oh, Ayamu! Nagi sighs at this, almost breathlessly, her violet eyes filling as she speaks with emotion. Does this mean you're going to stay with me? Yes, that's right. I'll stay with you. Forever? If you want, I'll always be by your side. I promise. Oh, Hayamu. Nagi bends down. She's still straddling me, with eyes either side of my chest, and her fingers are still wound around my throat. Now, however, her attempted strangulation seems almost like a gesture of affection. Her fair hair coils against my cheek, brushes my skin. Her lips purse, and softly she says, I'm so happy to hear you say that. I'll take really good care of you, so please don't worry. You'll never have to feel like a failure ever again, and I'll never make you feel scared or sad. Pour everything into me. Nagi's fingers tighten around my throat, and let it all go. My vision, which was already blurry, starts to skew. The world is running like it's being viewed through a damp, watery window pane. My head is aching. My whole body hurts, but I can forget that when I'm with Nagi. She shifts atop me. She leans in even more closely, her lips pursed. Then she kisses me. Her lips impress themselves upon mine, even gentler than falling snow, as her fingers continue to form a ring about my neck. My eyelids begin to fall shut, bit by bit. Whoa! Lost connection. I think I might have lost connection for a bit. I think we're back. Yes, I do believe I have. Several times, in fact. Oh boy. Several times, in fact. Oh boy. Okay. We'll have to deal with that later. My eyelids begin to fall shut bit by bit. And with one last sigh, I finally surrender myself to Nagi. I let her love consume me. My mind seems to enlarge. It expands. Then it collapses. My body gives one last fitful jerk. Ayamu! Oh god, Ayamu! Then everything goes back. Damn. Okay, bad end. Okay. I say we load. Let me take a drink first. Holy moly. Ooh, okay. I say we load. We take the scissors. If we take the knife, I think she just wrestles it out of us and kills us. So we take the scissors, we go back to where we were, and see if anything changes. Scissors. I think the scissors might be my best bet after all. Should be able to conceal them fairly easily, and the blade should still be sharp enough if push should come to shove to defend myself. Hoping it won't come to that, of course, but it never hurts to be prepared. I'm just taking the precautions necessary against an unknown enemy. Doesn't mean I'll actually use the scissors, though. I hope I don't have to. It's with shaking fingers that I reach for the scissors, which lie in their pot, innocent and unassuming in their state of disuse, on the kitchen counter. I clasp them, claim them, and slide them into my pocket. I feel the blades impressing themselves against my thigh, even through the fabric of my trousers. They're cold and unforgiving, as weapons tend to be, designed for no purpose beyond cutting. With some luck, they should be able to cut my connection with Nagi, too. A decision made, I turn on my heels and approach the front door. I think all of this should probably be the same. It's not locked, the handle twists. Fluorescent lights. Yep, all the same, all the same. We go down the hall. I walk. She's here. She has the... You have to ask. She's cold. You shouldn't be here. I told you not to leave. Why did you upset me? It's an excuse. What a fool I am. I don't believe you. You're lying. You deserve to be punished. She's not listening to me. I'm just seeing if I take the knife out at all at this point. Could you? I really love the audio design in this. It is so good. Such a good, like, just mood setter. I have no choice but to run. Yep, she's almost on me. What am I? She's gaining the hallways. Coming undone. Here's the glass doors. There's nothing there. Stop playing games. I smell the ambulance. I got run over. Yep, give up. Yep. Remembering the whole story. I wrote the story because I was depressed and suicidal and... I never talked to her. I'm what you imagined. Don't try to argue. I know everything you want. None of this might be real. I lost a lot of blood. Why fight against it? Reality's no good. Yep. You were greedy. Please make it stop. It hurts. I can't keep enduring this. Alright, where's the scissors? Pull those things out, boy. I'll love you even after you've died. Vision blurs, I can't breathe. Can't breathe, it hurts. Surely it's not the same ending. Tired of hurting. I can't abandon her, can I? Ooh, the skip went away. I think we're in new territory. Oh, stay with Nagi or fight Nagi. Nope, we know what happens here. We know what happens if we stay. We know what happens if we stay. We're gonna fight. Time to fight. Giving in to Nagi's demands would be the easy option, but I don't think it's the right option. I've been doing what's easy for the last few months, and it hasn't made me happy. If anything, it's only succeeded to make me feel even more miserable. I thought I'd be better if I kept away from people, but I'm starting to doubt that. I don't want to stay indoors anymore, hiding from the world. I don't want to run away from reality. I thought I was ready to throw my life away. I was wrong. I don't want to die. I don't want to disappear. There's still a lot I want to do. I want to tell my parents how much I appreciate them. I want to dry my mother's tears. I want to write more words, too, even if nobody's there to read them. Not even Nagiko. She might have lost interest in Crimson Fantasia, but I haven't. I don't want to betray my dreams. I don't want to betray my characters. I have to keep struggling, just like Haru. And it's this thought which spurs me to take action, quite unlike any Haru would ever take. He's a gentleman, so he would never hurt a girl, but I have no such compunctions with Nagi, not with her fingers wound around my throat. If she's not going to play nice, I won't either. It's not like it matters that much anyway. Nagi isn't real. I made her up. She's a construct, just like Haru and Eris and Harmonia, and I've put them through a lot worse. I made them suffer horribly for the sake of Crimson Fantasia's story. I can do the same with Nagi. I won't let her stop me. My fingers creep surreptitiously to my pocket, where my scissors are stashed. My eyes narrow with determination, and then... Ayamu, what are you... I strike. I pull the scissors from my pocket as quickly as I'm able, then thrust them upwards. The scissors plunge into Nagi's cheek, and like a banshee, she shrieks. Nagi stumbles back, one hand clasped over her face. Nagi's shoulders are convulsing. Red, sticky blood is seeping between her splayed fingers. It drips against the carpeted floor like falling rain. Drip, drip, drip. Nagi's fingers are slick with the stuff. Might as well be strawberry jam. Her face, however, is ghostly white, the same color as flour. Her chest rises and falls erratically beneath her blouse. As she glowers at me, it says, "You'll regret this, Ayamu. How could you? How could you?" I only did what I have to do. My voice is remarkably calm despite the adrenaline that's coursing through my body. I wipe my scissors down on my shirt, then get to my feet. I look down at Nagi, who's slumped on the ground, still bleeding, and say, "Don't act like you wouldn't have done the same to me. You were trying to choke me." "I was trying to help you." "Yes, I know. That's what you thought. Staying here isn't helpful. We'll never get anything done like this." "You hypocrite. You were the one who shut yourself away here in the first place. This is what you wanted. I wanted to make your dreams come true. Everything I did for your sake. And this is how you repay me? How could you?" "I'm horribly heartless, I know, but I still don't think I owe you anything. I mean, you're not really my girlfriend, are you? You're just a phantom I created. Maggie might have taken on the form of a cute girl, but she's nothing more than a shadow. She's my shadow. Sorry, I know you meant well, but this..." Look around the apartment foyer, the flickering lights and the flashing exit sign. "This isn't what I want anymore. I might have given up on my goals, my ambitions, and even my stories. But the real Nagiko is still out there. She told me she wanted to read the rest of Crimson Fantasia, so I can't disappoint her. I want to give it a satisfying conclusion for her sake." "But she doesn't care about you, Ayamu. Not like I do. She abandoned you. Maybe she did. It's alright though. I don't need her approval to keep writing. I don't need anybody's approval. I still want to keep going. I want to finish what I started, at the very least. That means I can't let things end here. So you're going to go back? You're going to subject yourself to being alone and to being miserable in a world you can't stand to finish off some stupid story nobody else cared about? Yeah, I guess I am. I guess it sounds a little silly when you phrase it like that. But it's not true, you know, that nobody cares about Crimson Fantasia. Nagiko doesn't. Maybe she doesn't. I do, though. I'm not so jaded that I've given up, even if you have. I want to see how my story ends. It would be a waste not to. I let my scissors drop to the floor and glance about. I'm breathing heavily, more so than I have in a long time. It's been a while since I exerted myself like that. It's been a while since I exerted myself in general. I don't often leave my apartment. Is that why I found myself trapped here in my half-formed embryonic dreamland? I came over the last few months to associate my apartment with safety. Nobody ever came to visit me, and nobody called me, apart from my parents. Even then, that was sparingly. I didn't have to answer to anybody other than myself. I never held myself accountable for my actions. I didn't want to. I couldn't handle the outside world, like Nagi so succinctly said, so I hid from it. By sitting in the same spot, unmoving, I was in essence running away. I'm tired of running now, though. I've spent too long in this apartment already, in the real world. I don't want to be stuck here in my dreams, too. Not with Nagi, who's still bleeding on the floor. Her perforated cheek is still oozing blood, blood which changes colors with the flickering of the lights overhead. Sometimes her blood looks black. At other times it looks bright red. Her lips, meanwhile, are pursed, like a princess's from a fairy tales. She looks like she's waiting for a kiss. I know if I bent down to grant her request, I might be able to take all of her pain away. I'm sure that she would forgive me for hurting her. She has no choice in the matter. I'm the one who created her. She is my delusion, just like Eris and Harmonia. She exists to love me, which is, I suppose, a nice enough fantasy. I can't say I just like the thought of being doted on by a pretty young girl like Nagi forever and ever. But would it really be satisfying when her love isn't real? This is a daydream I could do without. It's finally time to wake up. Here we go. Wake up. I think I know what this does. Yep. There we go. Good ending. If you can call that a good ending. Game closed. We're waking up. That was really good. Claps all around. I think the audio design and the like visuals surrounding the actual little window were my favorite. Very well done. The audio was honestly fantastic. I think it was perfect. Visual style was great. It was a good story. I enjoyed. Okay. What time is it? I don't know if I'm actually gonna have time for more. I can maybe... We'll see how... what do you call it? Let's see how quickly we can go through the... I think there's literally only 2 left. That took longer than I thought it would. Let's see, we'll go back to this. Oops, crashed. A moment. What time is it? Okay. The last one. Capturing? Really only 2 left. That took longer than I thought it would. Let's see. We couldn't do this one. We did this one, we did this one, we did this one, we did this one. I think Haram we haven't done. And Towards the Endless Ruin. Let's try Haram. See what it is. Short experimental walking simulator with a transgressive photography of Andres Serrano. That sounds good to me. Alright. Let's open it up. If it's short, that's good. Oh, we keep disconnecting. Okay, hold on. Okay. Should be good now. Should be good now. Change something and hopefully that'll stop us from disconnecting. It's very unfortunate that keeps happening. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, let's do Haram. Audio. Sounds good. A little loud. Turn it down a bit. That's fine enough for now. Ooh, maybe a little low. Okay. Let's try it. Steph Pinto and Penguin Games present. Oh my. Haram. Welcome to the Church of Adam's Rib. Been expecting you. Though perhaps it's more fitting to say you've expected us. This intersection is long overdue. I must say I'm surprised your lust for punishment has not yet expired. There's a hunger you possess, burning a hole in your gut, teeth-spittled stomach begging to be put to work. The most castrated hound in the kennel, but a dog all the same. We can hear the squeals. Please step forward and traverse the doorway between God's legs. She has many things to bear, and we've only begun to skin the frame. Okay. This is pretty good so far. Let's pray to Sausage Jesus. The chicken tree. To begin, let us discuss what brought you crawling to us. Your flesh and spirit have grown galaxies apart. The body yearns for salvation through a language alien to the mind. For too long you've shackled yourselves to the divine laws of man, a role you have not and will not ever be capable of fulfilling. You crave something simultaneously far less and far greater. Some pretty cool imagery here. Do we continue? Whoa! Several seem content to bleed their lashings dry out of faith, scrambling for the top, broken knuckles pointed to the skies. Not you, though. You've always had poor posture. You belong right at the bottom. Grieve purpose, guilt's rule. You wish God hated you. You'd want nothing more than to be disregarded as the sack of cartilage you are. couple stopped spinning. Things falling apart. Ooh. Turn down just a smidge. It says there's a sprint toggle, but I have not found the sprint box. The chicken is a rare occurrence, in which the organism is far less than the sum of its parts. As a living thing, organs and science in tandem is as insignificant as ants crawling on the face of the moon. Conversely, when fractioned and reduced to bloody tenths of itself, the chicken's existence grows far more revered, albeit under different names. Breast, leg, gizzard. The chicken's highest honor is when it ceases to be chicken any longer, it seems. You covet this luxury, to abstain from being stripped of all that is you in her image, willingly inadequate in spite of all she has gifted you. Approach, as we begin to boil you down to your most basic and honest element, meat. I love the visuals in this. This is great. Let us ingest the chicken. Cold fish. Ooh! Ooh, the maggots. Ooh, the maggots are very disturbing. Before me I witness an orphan, pretending they're not dead adrift in a black ocean, my sweet Ishmael, baptized in fish oil, anointed by the sea foam, cradled by the safety of the shore you washed upon. To be the scales and guts that once occupied these waters, shitting, pissing, impregnating the aqueous womb that's enveloped them from the roe. What a waste to be born shackled to the sea, the embrace of solid ground, forever out of reach. That is, until the tides strangle the air from their lungs and spit them out onto the sands. Then, and only then, is land attainable to the fish. Consider the plight of the octopus for a moment. An ancient myth that has said our universe is merely a shard of a more ancient one that died long ago. The sole remnant of our time, our only link to said past, is supposedly the octopus. I wonder why that is. Do you believe them to be a sort of cosmic seer? A chosen people meant to guide us through existence? What if, perhaps, it is a failure on God's part? A souvenir of a world she couldn't bear to part with? Oh, lost connection again. Alright, I don't know why this keeps happening. Oh, bitch. Well, I'll just keep going. What if perhaps it is a failure on God's part? I already said that. Regardless, for all the poetics, it's quite a sad tale. Everything you once knew dying behind you as you awaken someone else's dream. A stranger in a strange land, armed with 8 appendages and a racking question. Was this a design born of love or one of hate? For the results are ultimately the same. You have waded through a valley of 1,000 dead gods, countless vessels convinced of their claim to the sea, each with a unique brand of naivety, ripping each other apart till the waters bleed red, but nevertheless united in death on the shoreline. What gives you the impression you'll be any different? Who bequeaths such misplaced faith within you? I can hear her whistling. It is an ill wind, but it is all in your sails. Will you choose to steer your ship? Time to drown. Indian summer. Oh. I see. Okay, my OBS totally crashed. We're now on the chapter called Indian Summer. Not sure how much you missed. And there's a shotgun and hopscotch. And pigs and a noose and houses. Summer in the suburbs, a sweltering pit of cold sweats and Ritalin. The tar on the street bubbles, every home a mason jar coated thick with lard parboiling its hosts out of their syrup-induced comas. There's no need to fear. Packed in the trap like dead lobsters, braided in a filthy, hazeous fatigue. From afar, this shithole and paradise are dead ringers, but peer through the cracks in a moment. The floorboards are rotten, the trees are sick, the soil is barren, the sun's relentless divine light more mockery than warmth. It's toxic chocolate in a dog's stomach. The cancer needs removing. There are 3 little piggies who have festered in this wound for far too long. Bring the excision to them. See what it means to play the role of butcher, turn their castles into tombs. Is this 3 little pigs type thing? 3 houses? Oh. He said 3. I don't know if it's particularly these 3 pigs. There's a lot of pigs here. Can we even go in these? Probably not, actually. Oh, we can! Oh. I might have just killed an innocent pig. Nope, there he is. I'm sorry, young one, what I must do. Bled with the practiced ease of an old surgeon, that one's less lung-sucking than... That's one less lung-sucking the miasma out of this compound. Good riddance. A house is only a haven as long as you're wanted. Break down the walls. Oh, it's like physicsy. I can't seem to go past it. Alright, so there probably is a way into that one house I was missing. There's a grave outside? Let's see. Aha. It's very satisfying. Those octopus tendrils for a face? What is going on here? Is he a chicken? You got chicken wings? If it wasn't the 12 gauge, it'd probably be something else that ate that hog alive before long. Even now, this house wasn't sheltering so much as swallowing it. Not much else to do but rot when your home doubles as an asylum. Give some creatures a disease and they'll gladly spread it. Can I not get out this way? Alright, last little pig. Long shot. Let me in. Needless to say, the imagery in this game is pretty great. How does it feel to put your miserable flesh to use, to cast off the bondage you dangle from like a pliant marionette? It's okay to feel remorseful or remorseless. Either way, it makes you just as compellingly disgusting in my eyes. Now what? That was the 3 pigs. Oh, that's new. Shrine of dead pigs. All of life is but a moment for the grave, so really your acts are more of an accelerant than transgression. In destroying God's creation, you've created the greatest tribute to her. You are sending these poor swine directly to the essence, freeing them from a world occupied through absence of choice, each day more insufferable than the last. Suffering is a waste, if not relished, and God has much room where the hams are headed. It's crowded down here, but there's just a bit more space now for all that is awful, for the likes of you. Please. Very squelchy. Very rotted. That's more like it. An empire of dung. Oh, it's shit. Sick and swollen, riddled with disease and larva of all strain. It's about time you were given a nest to cake your wretched body. You are deserving of nothing but shit. You are shit, less even, but that's the past. But that's the best part. You stand so far below rock bottom, and still heaven is beneath you. All the bidding of the pests that circle these mounds. You hold the claim to eternal life. You can be birthed 1,000 times, die 1,000 deaths, each more miserable than the last. God's great gift cheapened through the very nature she has woven. You inhabit the shit they ingest. You swim in the vomit they expel. You linger in the waste they discard. You habit the shit they ingest. You swim in the vomit they expel. You linger in the waste they discard. Over and over and over and over again. It's a tad hypocritical. In spite of the worship, man appears hell-bent on defying God at every opportunity. You've conquered space and time, bent the planet to your will, nurtured its life, sacrificed it, usually the latter. If you ask me, man has become their own god of sorts, albeit with one fatal flaw. Pierce the sky, split the sea, carve the earth all you want. At the end of the day, man has a duty to die. Your makeshift deification shall always dim at the behest of the biology thrust upon you. Sounds exhausting, does it not? All that strife just end up at square one again, returning to what you were before you were. May as well settle for worm food. There's a freedom to be had in admitting there's no going up. You know that all too well. An evening redness in the west. Ooh, this is real cool. Whoa! Whoa, wait, this is really cool. Do I have to find myself? I now presents to you the blasted lands unbroken by even God herself. To flourish here is to blaspheme. This soil is barren, its heavy breasts heaving with rancid milk. The unholy marriage of dust and ash, a permanent fixture since before she last visited, have blackened the skies, leaving only the most stalwart of weeds and a dryness so severe you could crack stone. Nothing acts with great haste in the desert save for death. Here time stretches till its math is obsolete. Were it prohibited, I'd imagine these trees would grow downwards in hopes of sprouting somewhere else. Anywhere but here. When God made the world, she should have worn gloves. Give in and give up, lest these harsh winds flay your flesh till your bones are splintered. Seek congregation with the birds of prey, and assume their perch. Should come naturally. You're a jackal after all. You've never had a problem living off scraps. Follow the buzzards. Are they gonna lead me to the other places, perhaps? I think so. There's a lot of buzzards around here. It's very hard to tell if I'm on the right track here. Oh, what is this? Bone? Does this match anything? It's just a bone. Offer yourself up as sacrifice and lay claim to your dusty clay throne. Your skull shall be crowned not with jewels or even thorns, but a wake of black buzzards. Oh. Okay. Of course, I do not refer to human sacrifice. That course of action tends to favor those holding the blade, not so much the throat pressed to it. You will slash and cauterize the few remaining tethers to your human nature, or whatever appears human. You will no longer be a person, but a body-shaped beast, dining in this wasteland as a newly sworn predator. Driven by thirst and craving, you will be piloted not by the pulsating mass in your ribcage, but the fire coursing through your spidery veins. I really love the way they've put together this, like... It's like a triptych. That's what it is. I get it. I get it. It's a triptych. Deprive and dismiss yourself of your domineering needs. Submit to the hatred of this Martian landscape and contort yourself out of your wax frame. Much like the beach we trudge through, this dust bowl is sowed with the gore and entrails of countless hunts and cessations. In this godless plain of crimson wind, the truest form of divination lies. Whether tailing or tailed, stalking or stalked, the struggle for one's life or the termination of another is the ultimate test of will. Binding oneself to your birthright of flesh and blood, living, killing, and dying. This is true fulfillment, for existence is war. War with nature, war with oneself, war with God. And regardless of the blood spilt, all that remains duly crumbles into filth and is blown away by the same gusts that carried them forth. Cool. It makes like a whole picture. That's neat. That's really neat. Child of God. Whoa. The black sheep. Look at him go. These are some nice looking sheep. I don't think I've ever seen sheep this realistic looking in a game. I'm a big fan. Oh, an apple, half eaten. Pomegranate. Oh. Never mind. Oh no, he's fine. Oh, I love the visuals in this. They are so good. So you have nothing to say this time? Do I have to go talk to the sheep? That was close enough. Oh, wait. Might be over here. The Lamb of God, a babe cursed to answer for man's hideous disfigurements, exiting this life the same way it entered, naked and afraid, save for his red-soaked fleece. Time to collect the child of God. The baby babushka lamb. Do we bring you to the church? Do we bring you to the black sheep? Let's try the black sheep. Who just happens to be the farthest away. Oh, wait. No, what is this? Lamb chop? A heart. I can't speak with certitude, as its fortune was decided long before it, or even its mother, tumbled out the womb. But a shred of me sees a parallel between you and the feeble beast. If given the choice, mayhap the ability to sever divine ties, the lamb would jump at the first opportunity to be nothing but a sheep's humble spawn. Okay, we're collecting stuff. That seems like a lot of pomegranates over there. Ah, the apple. Frolicking in the fields, suckling from the teat, amounting to little beyond slow-roasted shank or gyro filling, a quick and merciful demise once the curved blade cuts. Instead it is thrown to the lions, and picked clean from its bones, eaten alive by the same maws that no sooner sing its praise before returning for seconds. Poor thing should have just been laid out to pasture. There's nothing to save in man. Oh, giant floating tarot card? Not tarot card, just card. Pretty cool card. Oh, are we... Here, you want this? You want this? Is that correct? Whoa. Ho 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 ho! Time to join the meat dimension. Can I not join the meat dimension? I clicked E. Join. There we go. Blood on the ice shelf. It's beautiful, one of God's fleeting masterpieces. I routinely hear that the world's getting warmer. However, its tenants seem to be going the opposite direction. The ice is thin, the water is high, and the snow is tinged with plasma more often than not. Even a land so sterile and remote as this is not omitted of your stain. What is without your knowledge is without your consent, and what is never defiled by your hand never truly was. Your labor with the efficacy of a flea. In a past life, God employed a flood to compensate for her faults. Evidently, one wasn't enough, seeing your kind took it upon themselves to inflict another. Calculated. I wouldn't be too quick to flatter, but either way, intentional or not, the steps that brought forth this dilemma almost validate its intrusion, and with that God's greatest leverage is taken from her. Man is no longer being sent to hell. Hell is sent for man, and it's all around and it's hot. Still no news on heaven, though. The sky's an excellent place to hide. Love the look at this place. Especially the sun that seems like it's like in the middle of this lake and not actually in the sky. God's got the whole world in her hands, her palms are cold and her grip is buttered. Deify the skeletons. Pork belly. Oh. Oh, he floats with us. I'd imagine you're familiar with the fervent, omnivorous appetite of the pig. If presented, a pig will gladly consume any and all forms of chow. In a that was funny. I liked that. In a horrifically indiscriminate fashion. Unsurprisingly, this extends to the taste for flesh. A hungry pig can easily rend a man's corpse into a hearty meal in a tooth-laced fecal mound. The plight and condition of the meal in question makes no difference. For all the purpose and duty man loves to instill in himself, he might as well be a mad cow when shuffling through a pig's innards. He is sustenance and a bowel movement, nothing else. Naturally, pork itself is not exempt from this diet. Give a pig bacon, ham, even a piglet, and it will savor every last bite. Grisly, perhaps, but for the likes of you, probably commendable. See, unintentionally, perhaps, the pig has no qualms transcending its being, disregarding the flesh and blood that defies its existence. It is no longer a pig, a hog, or a swine, just itself a thing that needs to eat, surrounded by other things. The thin boundaries of species will not spoil the appetite of such a creature. Be like the pig. Are we gonna eat me? Oh! Oh! The other white meat. This is much longer when it's set than I had anticipated. When it said short. Rivers like clogged arteries, dead pigs as far as the eye can see. That's what this is all after all, a meat grinder, a machine churning till its gears glisten and gleam with lubricating fat. Some jump headfirst into its auger, others dragged kicking and squealing, flung into its jaw like a sick piglet. Regardless, you've yet to earn the privilege of having lived till you're minced by its cogs, fangs, and tusks. Oh boy. I thought that was gonna guillotine me. I didn't think it was a bridge. In fact, it still might guillotine me. It's gonna close around me. Should we not all die now? We shouldn't have to wait, but I guess that's where the fun is. What use could you have in an existence beyond this anyways? I totally thought that was closing around me. I see one last pig. You've seen the most wretched this world has to offer, and nothing else compares. And how could it? You had a hand in shaping it, after all. You and every other ingrate and cheat alike. It's often said God built two heavens and for all her creation, the first being her kingdom in the clouds, of course, and the second within a lake of fire. Two very different places for two very different kinds of people, but both heavens nevertheless. In a circle racked with diseases primed to destroy or self-destruct, anywhere else is a cheap vacation. This place has gone to the pigs, a trough brimming with shit, piss, and the flies' posterity, a trembling young mammal hog-tied with barbed wire, not barbed wire, a simmering pan of bacon fat over the blue flame. This is not damnation, because one can simply deserve this. To endure this is to want it. You're beyond saving. You are the pig. Your hell is here. That was great. Inspired by Stephen King? Yeah, I could see that. Very good. Crediting all of the paintings and such. You'd love to see it. That was good. That was real good. A little longer than I was expecting, but fantastic visuals. Let's see here. I don't think I'm going to play through all of the last one, at the very least. I do want to at least check it out. Explore your family's estate and interact with the environment to find clues that help you remember the events that took place earlier that evening. Discover multiple endings. Ah, this one looks good, though. Alright, I'm going to come back some other time and finish this off once and for all. I was really hoping I'd be able to finish it all today, but alas, I cannot. Thank you for sticking with me, if you have. Apologies for any technical difficulties I seem to be having today. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.